你好，小朋友。今天我们还是一起上一节英文课。我们像在学校一样，戴帽子，一二三，说英文。All right, so in the past few days, we have been learning about adjectives, right? So today we will continue to learn about adjectives, but we will learn something new about adjectives. So let's first take a look at a video and then we'll do some practice together on Seesaw. Let's begin. Just a minute.
On your mark, get set, go! You're a fast hopper, Moby. You're a faster hopper than I am. You're the fastest hopper in the whole school. How can you use adjectives to compare? Remember, a noun is a person, animal, place, thing, or idea. An adjective is a word that describes a noun. Adjectives can tell how something looks, sounds, feels, tastes, or smells. Moby juggles shiny red balls. The adjectives shiny and red describe the balls. A suffix is a letter or group of letters added to the end of a word to change it. A suffix can change the meaning of a word. When you use an adjective to compare two things, you add the suffix er. Becca hula hoops longer than Moby. You start with the adjective long, and you add the suffix er to make a comparison. Moby is taller than Tasha. Tasha is shorter than Moby. When you compare more than two things, you add the suffix est. Moby throws the fastest. We're comparing Moby with other kids. So you start with the adjective fast, and you add the suffix est. Moby cheers the loudest. Moby jumps the highest. There are some words you need to spell a little differently when you add a suffix. What are some rules for adding a suffix to an adjective? When you're using an adjective to compare and the word ends in a silent E, you just add R or ST. This ball is large. This ball is larger. This ball is the largest. Since the word large ends in a silent E, all you have to do is add an R or ST. This cat is cute. The kitten is cuter. But this kitten is the cutest. When an adjective ends in a consonant, you should double the consonant before adding the suffix. I'm all wet. The word wet ends in a consonant, so you have to double the consonant and then add the suffix. Becca is wetter than I am. Moby is the wettest of all. The word hot ends in a consonant too. That means you have to double the consonant to add a suffix. Hotter and hottest. When an adjective ends in a Y, you first drop the Y and then add IER or IEST. Moby's hat is silly. The word silly ends in the letter Y. To add a suffix, you drop the Y and add IER or IEST. Moby's hat is sillier than Becca's hat. Moby's hat is the silliest one in school. The word dirty ends in a Y. That means you have to drop the Y to add a suffix. Dirtier and dirtiest. When you write, remember to proofread or check over your work to correct any mistakes. Whoops, I spot a mistake. I spelled the word funniest wrong. I can think of some adjectives that don't have suffixes when you use them to compare. What adjectives do not use suffixes? Tug of war is the difficultest game. You're right, Moby. When you use a long adjective to make a comparison, you do not need to add a suffix. Instead, you can use the word less, least, more, or most. Tug of war is the most difficult game. The egg race is more exciting than the ring toss. The ring toss is the least popular game. Moby, you're good at this. You're gooder at the ring toss than I am. You're better at the ring toss than I am. When you use the word good to compare, you don't add a suffix. You use the words better or best. Moby is the best ring tosser in the whole school. When you use the word bad to compare, you use the words worse or worst. I keep missing. I'm worse at the ring toss than the egg race. I'm the worst at this game. Thanks, Moby. That's a lot easier.
All right, so we just learned a lot of new things from this video, right? We learned how to use adjectives to compare, and when we are using adjectives to compare, we add ER, and sometimes if there's a silent E, we only add R, and if there's a Y, we drop the Y and add IER. We just learned a bunch of different rules when it comes to using adjectives to compare, right? So now we're going to take some time to practice, okay? So let's take a look at our seesaw. So when you get to seesaw, you will see this activity that says January 7th, English Adjectives, Part 3. So click Add Response. All right, there we go. All right, so this practice assignment has 1, 2, and 3 pages. So on page 1, we're going to practice changing the adjectives to comparative and superlative. Okay, so just like what we learned in the video, but all the words we will be practicing today are pretty easy to change because you just need to add ER to comparative. So like, 陈老师 runs faster than 潘老师 maybe. And superlative is 陈老师 runs the fastest at Lila. So superlative is when you are comparing 3 things and more. And comparative is when you are comparing 2 things. Like 陈老师 runs faster than 潘老师, so it's 陈老师 and 潘老师, you're comparing them, those 2 people. But if you say 陈老师 runs the fastest at Lila, because there are definitely more than 3 people at Lila, right? So use the fastest, you add EST at the end of the word. So for number 2, when you're doing comparative, you add ER. So number 2 is going to be slower, right? Slower. And superlative is going to be slowest, right? So, because when we're comparing two things, we add er to the end of the word. And then when we're comparing three things or more, we add est. Remember, that's the golden rule what we need to remember today, right? Adding er and est. So new, newer, and newest. Okay, let's do one more. Cold, colder, and coldest. Remember, for the green one, comparative, we compare two things, so we add er. For the purple one, we compare three things, so we add est. All right, so when you're doing this assignment, make sure you do all 6 of them. I'm just doing 3 here for you as an example, but when you are doing this assignment, make sure you do all 6 of them, okay? All right, so now let's take a look at page 2. Let's read the instructions together. Change the words below to the right format and then put it in the right sentence. The words here are big, fast, and new. So let's take a look at the first picture and the first sentence. In this race, giraffe is blank than the horse. I see the giraffe is here, the horse is here. So I know that the giraffe is faster than the horse because of this picture, right? And I'm comparing two things. So I'm adding er to the word fast. Okay, so I'm putting this right here. Now I have the word big and the word new left. So take a look at those two pictures and figure out which word goes where and how are you going to change it a little bit, adding er to the end of the word to make it fit into this sentence and this sentence. Okay, so that's page 2. Page 3 says, change the words in the word bank to the right format and then put it in the right sentence. So once again, let's take a look at the word bank. Fast, short, smart. Okay, so the first one, let's see. The elephant is the blank animal in this race. If I take a look at this picture, I see that the elephant is right ahead of everyone, right? So clearly, the elephant is the fastest because I'm comparing a lot of animals in this race, right? There are definitely more than 2. So I'm adding est at the end to the word fast to show that the elephant is the fastest animal in this race. And I now have the word short and smart left. So think about how you would change those 2 words, to make sure that they go into these 2 sentences correctly. And don't forget to take a look at the pictures to figure that out. All right, so when you're done with page 1, 2, and 3, make sure you're done with all 3 of them and then click the green check button right here to share your work with me. All right, that is our English class for today. We have learned about using adjectives to compare 2 or 3 or more things. All right.